Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Chair and members. Before I begin, I'd like to thank the Chair and this committee staff for their assistance on this bill. Although it's my belief that trafficking an individual of any age for any purpose should be considered a serious felony, in order to move this bill forward today, I'll be accepting the committee amendment outlined in the analysis. Senate Bill 14 is a bipartisan measure that is joint authored by Senator Caballero and Senator Rubio and co-authored by 10 senators and 19 assembly members. Our bill will include human trafficking of a list of crimes that's defined serious under California law, making it a strikable offense. As we all know, human trafficking is exploding in our cities across the country. This horrendous practice could very easily be defined as the crime of our time. The buying and selling of people for financial gain is a brutal crime that uses mental, physical, and psychological manipulation and violence to control their victims. With the proliferation of social media and easy access to victims, no one is safe from the far reachers of the human trafficker's grip. Men, women, and children of all ages are lured and forced into both sex and labor trafficking, and unfortunately, California is one of the largest hubs of human trafficking. Data from the service providers of the U.S. National Human Trafficking Hotline has consistently shown that groups who experience marginalization by race, income, gender, and sexual identity and orientation and immigration status are more likely to be exploited through sex and labor trafficking. I want to take a moment and thank Senator Bradford from Gardena for highlighting this fact with his Ebony Alert, which is a bill that outlines how black women and girls are increased risk of being harmed and trafficked and are disproportionately missing in California. Data from the 2019 United States Census shows that people who are black and African American make up nearly 13.4% of the United States population. However, nearly 40% of the people of color, black children, make up about 38% of the missing child cases. Senator Bradford's information on his data sheet for his Ebony Alert provided us with that immensely important factual information to support our sex trafficking bill. Thank you for your work, Senator. The Congressional Black Caucus Foundation report on human trafficking found in every 2 years a study of human trafficking incidents across this country. 40% of sex trafficking victims were identified as black women, according to the FBI. 53% of all juvenile prostitution arrests were black children. There is no such thing as juvenile prostitution. This sex trafficking, as juveniles cannot consent to sex. Again, I'd like to thank Senator Bradford for providing these harrowing statistics. Additionally, Native American women and girls are victims of human trafficking at a much higher rate compared to the overall population. California has the 6th highest death rate in Indigenous women in urban cities. Due to the pervasive nature of this issue here in the Golden State, California was chosen to be the first pilot program location for the United States Department of Justice in Missing, Murdered, and Indigenous Persons Initiative. Again, that's why trafficking a person of any age, from 1 to death, for any reason, including both labor and sexual exploitation, should be considered a serious felony. Exploitation of our most vulnerable population should be treated as a serious crime that it is. In order to confront the crisis of human trafficking, a holistic approach needs to be addressed on every facet of this complex issue, including education, identification, funding, and direct support for services for survivors and trauma-informed care. However, we also need stiffer penalties for consequences for traffickers themselves who are perpetrating these brutal and heinous acts on our most vulnerable, especially those that traffic children. Human trafficking victims face a brutal reality many of us cannot even fathom. Traffickers control every aspect of their victims' lives and treat them as modern slaves. Victims are forced to work 365 days a year without pay. The trafficker tells them when to work, when to eat, when to sleep, and when to rest. They take every dollar that they earn. Traffickers even brand their victims in order to show ownership over them as property. Some teenage girls as young as 12 are forced to wear a tattoo brand on their face forever. They're forced to wear this tattoo because they no longer have their life is their own. They're controlled and owned by another person. They very rarely, if not at all, call them by their name. They call them something completely inappropriate to mention in this committee. The violence and torture endured by these victims is so gruesome, it's difficult to understand. Violent acts such as rape, sodomy, beatings, strangulation are often endured sometimes on a daily basis. These traffickers are repeat offenders who are preying on our children. One example of trafficking from my district is Kevon Richardson. He trafficked a 15-year-old girl from Orange County in 2017, was sentenced to 8 years in prison, and got out after serving less than 4. As soon as he got out, he targeted children again. He was arrested and prosecuted for simultaneously commercially exploiting adults and 3 minors, and his victims ranged from ages from 14 to 20. Colleagues, I hope that we can all agree here today that repeatedly selling children for sex, forcing them to be raped over and over again, should be considered a serious felony in the state of California. Passing SB 14 would serve to protect future generations by stopping people from engaging in this crime today. SB 14 has received over 70 support letters from human trafficking nonprofits, district attorneys, and community organizations. From tribal communities such as the Tule River Tribe and organizations such as Veterans for Child Rescue, national organizations that note that SB 14 include the Center of Missing and Exploited Children, founded by John Walsh, the National Center for Sexual Exploitation, Crimes Victim United Alliance for Families Against Violence and Sexual Assault, and Children's Advocacy Centers of California, as well as Women to Women, which is an organization that supports formerly incarcerated women. And late last night, we received a letter from the California Faculty Association representing 29,000 members in the state of California supporting this bill. In addition, my office has received over 1,300 individual letters of support from everyday Californians that want to see human trafficking of a child properly classified as a serious felony. I'm honored to have Three Strands Global Foundation as the sponsor of SB 14 today. Three Strands fights every day to end the horrendous practice of human trafficking and protect survivors of this horrific crime. Californians from across this state have shared their personal stories and voiced their support of SB 14. But here with me to testify directly are 2 experts in the human trafficking field. My first witness is in human trafficking world is former Alameda County District Attorney Nancy O'Malley. Former District Attorney in O'Malley's office has prosecuted more than 800 human trafficking cases, the majority of which have involved minor female victims. D.A. O'Malley is the founder of the Human Exploitation and Trafficking Institute, otherwise known as HEAT. Additionally, to shine a light on this issue with the first-hand knowledge, my second witness is an incredible advocate and human trafficking survivor, Miss Brianna Williams. Miss Williams was not only trafficked as a child, but she also lost her beautiful sister to trafficking as well. D.A. O'Malley?
Thank you and good morning. I have recently retired as the district attorney, but I'm still involved in the work combating human trafficking. Human trafficking occurs when there is involuntary servitude, or what we now commonly call modern-day trafficking or slavery. Those are terms used by President Obama and President Biden when they declared January Human Trafficking Awareness Month. In my 39-year career, I know that human trafficking is one of the most destructive crimes that exist in this world. Destructive to the psyche for sure, and for sure to the bodies of sex trafficking victims. While all 50 states have now reported human trafficking, California, and particularly the Bay Area, Los Angeles, and San Diego, are hotspots according to the FBI statistics. We see victims being brought here from Los Angeles primarily to Oakland. They're between the ages of 15 and 21. They don't know what city they're in. They don't have a recourse to get away from the trafficker. Research shows us that the percentage of trafficked victims, the higher percentage are people of color, and particularly in the Bay Area, Los Angeles, and San Diego, according to the statistics, the highest percentage of traffic victims are African American girls. Research also shows that the high percentage of women and some men are brought here from other countries with a promise of a job, but when they get here, they're immediately put into servitude and are forced to either work in labor without pay, or they are forced into the human trafficking, sex trafficking. We're now looking closely, research through the Heat Institute and other bodies of research, looking at the high incidence of disappearance of First Nation or Native American girls who are disappearing at an alarming rate to indicate whether or not they are linked to human trafficking. We believe it's true. According to the San Diego study, they identified a minimum of almost 2,000 victims of human trafficking in 1 year in San Diego County. And the average age of entry for those individuals was 14 to 15 years old. The study also found that the underground sex economy, the human trafficking, is an estimated $810 million in annual revenue. In the 26 years since I've been working on this issue, as Senator Grove said, I have either prosecuted or supervised prosecution of now 850 human trafficking cases. There's a commonality amongst traffickers, and this is important for the request that human trafficking be identified as a serious felony under California law. The commonality is that the act involves severe psychological manipulation. There is intense physical abuse. There is torture used by traffickers to gain compliance of the victim. Oftentimes, what we've seen is that there have been men brought in to gang rape the victim to get her into compliance before that she's put out on the street or on the internet. Traffickers generally remove their victims from a place of familiarity, so even if they wanted to escape, they could not, just as we've seen in Oakland. Generally speaking, traffickers have a lack of care or compassion or concern for the victims and are using them solely for financial gain. Human trafficking is one of the most egregious crimes inflicted on the most vulnerable victims in our society, and I urge you to vote yes on this bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You were just around the 2-minute mark, so I appreciate your time. Now we'll hear from Ms. Williams.
Good morning. My name is Brianna Williams. I'm a survivor of human trafficking here in Sacramento County. I stand here today to express my unwavering support for SB 14. This bill is not just a piece of legislation. It's a beacon of hope for those that have been victimized by human trafficking. It is a testament to our collective commitment to protect and empower the most vulnerable members of our society. During my childhood, as a young teen, I was trafficked throughout California. I was beaten and brutalized by my trafficker on a daily basis and suffered unimaginable physical and emotional trauma. After my escape, I did not give up. I fought back with all my might, and with the help of several people, including my mom and organizations like Love Never Fails, I managed to escape the clutches of my tormentor. I am now the owner of 2 businesses, and my life's mission is to advocate for others. My story is a testament to resilience of the human spirit, but is also a stark reminder of the horrors of sex trafficking. We cannot turn a blind eye to the scourge that plagues this society. We must take action to prevent it from happening time and time again by the same perpetrators. Yesterday was also the 1-year anniversary of the tragic death of my little sister that has shaken my family to its core. And this is my little sister. My 23-year-old little sister, Blair Mosley, was also sex trafficked, and it caused her to have a mental break after her trafficker and others brutally raped her. She returned to a childlike state, and on April 24, 2022, she unknowingly walked into I-5 highway here in Sacramento and was struck and killed by a car. Blair was one of the most amazing people I know. She had dreams to become an attorney and open a restoration home for the unhoused. This tragedy is a stark reminder that the devastating impact of sex trafficking can have on individuals and families. It is a reminder that we cannot afford to be complacent. We must do everything in our power to prevent such tragedies from happening again. So I urge you to support SB 14. Let us send a clear message that we will not tolerate sex trafficking in our state. Let us stand together in solidarity with those who have been victimized, and let us work together for a brighter, safer future for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Williams. We'll now move on to witnesses in support of SB 14 here in room 2200, please.
Ashley Bryant, CEO, Three Strands Global Foundation, in support.
Odessa Perkins in support of SB 14. I stood before you guys last year as the witness, letting you know that I am also a survivor of human trafficking. My mother trafficked me, so this crime affects everyone. We have to pass SB 14 in order for our children to be safe.
Thank you.
I'm Jenna McKay with Senator Grove's office, and I'm also a survivor of human trafficking and still deal with the trauma that was put on me physically and mentally, and I support SB 14. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members, Randy Perry on behalf of PORAC and the Highway Patrol Association in support of the bill.
Thank you.
My name is Arlene Espinosa. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist with Zoe International, and I strongly support SB 14.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning, and thank you. I was here last year also, too. I'm a parent whose child was trafficked, and I work with parents, and every day I see children. I have seen a child who committed suicide because her trafficker continued to follow her. Another child was taken from someone. A trafficker went into the house in front of her mother and took her out.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for your time. I honor you, and I bless you. You guys are servants of the Lord. May justice be done. Thank you.
Let me just remind everyone that at this time we're going to be taking witnesses in support of SB 14, but it's the Me Too, so it's just your name, your position, and the organization that you're representing, please. Thank you.
Good morning. Cindy De Silva. I'm a Deputy District Attorney for the California District Attorneys Association in support.
Thank you.
Chair and members, Jonathan Feldman with the California Police Chiefs Association in support.
Thank you.
Good morning. Aretha Perkins. I'm a registered voter for the state of California. It's about people, not politics. I support SB 14. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Faith Heath with Helping Us, an anti-human trafficking organization, and I am in support.
Thank you.
My name is Laura Phillips, and I'm with the Jenna McKay Foundation. I strongly support this bill.
Thank you.
Marjorie Saylor, survivor of human trafficking from San Diego County, Director of Client Services with Alabaster Jar Project, and I support the bill.
Thank you.
Pamela Lopez on behalf of the Tule River Tribe in support.
Thank you.
Leah Shang, Impact Community Organization, also representing Project Take in strong support of 14. Thank you.
Shay Franco-Clausen, Alameda County, Oakland resident, and I'm supportive of this as a survivor of sex trafficking.
Thank you.
Arian Adam Chikova, San Francisco resident, friend of two mothers of a daughter who was sexually trafficked out of her home in San Francisco. Also a high school teacher of marginalized, sexually trafficked young students. Oh, and I support 14.
My name is Joel. I'm from Fairfield, California. I'm in strong support of SB 14.
Thank you.
I'm Joan Pivarnik. I'm from Fairfield, California, by way of San Francisco. I'm representing Loving Through His Eyes, nonprofit for sex trafficking girls, and I'm in support of SB 14.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Corey Salzillo on behalf of the California State Sheriff's Association in support.
Thank you.
Good morning, Lisa Disbrow, Informed Parents of Contra Costa County and Calvary Chapel, Chino Hill in support.
Thank you.
Good morning, Emily Sanders, survivor, founder, and executive director of Connect to Change in support of SB 14.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mariam Nouzem. I'm a legal immigrant from Egypt where human trafficking is a business. It's about time to make it a felony. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Izzy Swindler, Shaw Yoder, Antwi Schmelzer, and Lang on behalf of
Supervisor McCary and Supervisor Townsend from Tulare County, as well as the Board of Supervisors in Kern and the Board of Supervisors in Fresno in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Angela Look. I work for Child Protective Services in Kern County in strong support of this bill.
Hello, Katrina Garcia, the Human Trafficking Liaison for Kern County Probation Department, in strong support of Senate Bill 14.
Thank you.
Erin Friday of Our Duty, licensed attorney, in support.
Thank you.
Allie Snyder, concerned parent, in support.
Thank you.
Rochelle Connor, Concerned Women for America, strong support.
Thank you.
Sophia Laurie with Young Women for America, as well as approached by sex traffickers while I was in college in Orange County, in strong support.
Thank you.
Greg Burt with the California Family Council, in strong support.
Thank you.
Todd Reby, Amador County District Attorney, strong support.
Thank you.
Pastor Brandon Campbell, Faith Baptist Church in Wheatland in Northern California, Director of the California Capital Connection, in support.
Thank you.
Scott Dean, pastor of Elmira Baptist Church. We strongly support SB 14.
Thank you. Do we have any other witnesses in support of SB 14 here in room 2200? Seeing none, we will now move on to witnesses in opposition, or lead witnesses in opposition for SB 14.
Good morning, Leslie Caldwell Houston for the California Public Defenders Association. I'm asking to yield my 2 minutes to Sister Warriors Coalition for a total of 4 minutes to them.
Can we do that? Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning, committee and chair. My name is Emily Wonder, and I'm reading this statement on behalf of April Grayson, who is currently providing testimony in another committee. April is a policy associate for the Sister Warriors Freedom Coalition and member of numerous anti-trafficking advisory boards for commercially sexually exploited children and adults throughout California. She is also a survivor of human trafficking, and she wrote this statement in opposition of SB 14. If SB 14 passes, human trafficking will become a strikable offense with harsher sentences and lifelong consequences. As a survivor, April can see the positive intent of this bill. However, as a survivor who has been criminalized and demonized by the legal system that was meant to protect her, she asks me to remind the authors and this committee that this bill will actively harm many survivors of human trafficking, especially the Black, Brown, Native, poor, LGBTQ women and trans survivors who are already least likely to see justice. April was born into the CPS system and has touched every system California has to offer. After she was kicked out of the system at 18, she was trafficked. At 19, she was criminalized by the court system, made out to be the perpetrator and the mastermind of a crime that she was also the victim of. She was sentenced to 20 years and 8 months. At that time, the charges were pimping and pandering, but if she had been sentenced today, she would have been charged with human trafficking. She served 17 years in state prison, where she received no referral to healing or rehabilitative services. She was considered a violent felon and had to register as a sex offender. April was never seen as a victim of human trafficking. She was only seen as perpetrator, even though she was 19 and her 27-year-old trafficker was sitting next to her in court. He was never identified as a trafficker, let alone her trafficker, and was never convicted of any trafficking or pimping charges. April is not a unique case. Not addressed in this committee's and bill analysis is the horrifying reality that over 90% of human trafficking victims are criminalized while being trafficked, including many who have human trafficking charges instead of their trafficker. We need to acknowledge that our criminal legal system is not equipped to recognize human trafficking victims, especially young women and trans folks of color who are victims of sexual exploitation. Our current laws fail to provide judges and juries with the information necessary to help them identify victims, something that we're trying to fix in another bill being heard in the Assembly today. If SB 14 passes, criminalized survivors will be subjected to punishments that will be doubled or escalated to a life sentence under 3 strikes. In many cases, doubled just for low-level offenses that are not serious or violent. And prosecuting these survivors will not stop trafficking from happening, since these survivors are easily replaced by their traffickers. Even with recent amendments to this bill, there are still many survivors who would fall through the cracks and face further punishment and trauma. Survivors like April. This This bill will have severe collateral negative consequences for victims and survivors. This is not the solution. The solution is to properly investigate cases, provide healing resources, and prevent further harm against survivors by the criminal legal system. Until we can protect victims from arrest, we must not pass laws that will further harm them, their families, and our communities. We have to stop creating bills that don't address the nuances of the situation, or we will continue to hurt vulnerable, traumatized victims. We intimately understand how serious human trafficking is, and we recognize what Senator Grove and co-authors are trying to do with this bill. But until we can successfully identify victims and provide them support and relief, we cannot be in support of SB 14. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we just heard from our lead witnesses in opposition to SB 14. We'll now continue with witnesses in opposition to SB 14 here in room 2200.
Leslie Caldwell Houston for the San Francisco Public Defender's Office in opposition.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we have any other witnesses in opposition to SB 14 here in room 2200? Seeing none, we'll now move on to witnesses both in support and opposition via our teleconference service. As a reminder, please, all the witnesses testifying via the teleconference, you are to state your name, your position, and the organization that you're representing. Mr. Moderator, if you would please queue up the witnesses both in support and opposition to SB 14, and we will continue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If you are in support or opposition to SB 14, please press 1 followed by 0 at this time. 1 followed by 0. And we will begin with line 186. You are open. Line 186, please go ahead. I think you just took yourself out of queue. Go ahead and hit 10 again, 186, and we'll get back to you. And we'll go to 123.
Hi, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Sharon Gonzalez on behalf of Mayor Karen Go and the City of Bakersfield in strong support of SB 14. Thank you.
Line 26, please go ahead.
Vice Chair of the Democratic Party of Orange County for 10 years and President of the National Women Political Caucus of Orange County and the Newport Beach Women Democratic Club, founder and president of Global Hope 365.
Oppose this bill.
I strongly support this bill.
Line 168, you are open.
Sarah Rigney on behalf of Initiate Justice and Respectful Opposition. Thank you.
Line 119, please go ahead.
Good morning. This is Jody Dang calling on the behalf of San Diego County District Attorney Summer Stephan in support of this bill. Thank you.
139, you are up.
Hi, my name is Hannah Rams. I'm a Los Angeles County resident, and I am strongly in support of this bill.
Line 195, please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Yadira De Leon. I am from San Bernardino County, and I am in strong support of SB 14. Thank you.
Line 23, you are open.
Lilia Dardone, volunteer with Shepherd's Gate in Contra Costa County and student of God and Government, and I strongly support SB 14.
Line 39, please go ahead. I think 39 took themselves out of queue. We'll go to line 55.
Yes, this is Monica Kovac. I'm the chair of the Bridge of Light Anti-Human Trafficking Ministry. Strongly in support.
192, you are open.
Matt Look, Arvin, California. Support SB 114.
Line 37, please go ahead.
Jane, sex assault survivor and parent. I strongly support.
You are open, line 210.
Dominic Hayden, Bakersfield, California, in support.
Line 206, please go ahead.
Hello, is that me?
Please go ahead, yes.
Oh, good morning.
Thank you. Mary Little, Kern County trustee. I urge you to support this and vote for it. Thank you.
Line 199, please go ahead.
Anne Marie Villegas, mother of 4, Sacramento County resident. I strongly support SB 14. Thank you.
Line 110, you are open.
Lenise Christian, Bakersfield, California. I am for this amendment. This bill. Thank you.
Line 19, please go ahead.
Franks, I'm a children and family pastor in Butte County for the Church of the Nazarene, and I strongly support SB 14.
Line 82, please go ahead. Line 82, are you muted? One more shot, line 82. Moving along, line 191, please go ahead.
And that Children County voter, and I strongly support SB 14.
Line 57, please go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Amy Ichikawa. I am the founder and executive director of the nonprofit Woman to Woman, and we advocate for the incarcerated. I strongly support SB 14. Thank you.
196, you are open.
Yes, my name is Melanie Bond. I'm an LA County resident, and I'm in strong support.
Line 63, please go ahead. Line 63, are you muted? Please go ahead, line 63. We'll go to line 10. Please go ahead.
I'm Catherine Cox, and I'm in support of this bill, and I'm in LA County.
Line 197, please go ahead.
My name is Cynthia Jamara, and I'm the coordinator for Project Rescue in conjunction with CityServe and Canyon Hills Assembly, and I strongly support SB 14. Thank you.
86, your line is open.
This is Orlene Kurla. I represent Eagle Forum of California. We all strongly support this bill.
198, please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Clarissa Ortega. I am an associate clinical social worker in LA County, and I'm in strong support of this bill.
154, please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Christian Toma. I'm a Los Angeles resident, and I strongly support SB 14.
Line 35, please go ahead.
Hi, my name is David Cox from Los Angeles, a concerned citizen and a friend of Vic, and I strongly support SB 14.
Line 98, you are open. Line 98, are you muted? Go ahead, line 98. We'll move on to line 59. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Destiny Jensen. I'm a former sex trafficking victim, and I'm from Oakland County, and I strongly support this bill.
186, please go ahead. We are back to you. Please go ahead.
Yes. Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I strongly support this bill, SB 114.
Line 138, you are open. Line 138, please go ahead. We'll try line 217. Please go ahead.
Kelsey McCoy, Bakersfield, California. Strong support for this bill.
You are open, line 8.
This is Cliff Cox. I support this bill from LA.
Please go ahead, line 53. Line 53, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Carolina Caporelli, LA County voter, and I support this bill.
Line 36, you are open.
Tiffany Suits, Human Trafficking Prosecutor, in support of SB 14.
Line 218, please go ahead.
Ray Grangoff with the Orange County Sheriff's Department in support of 218, of this legislation.
Line 24, you are open.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Doug Bennett in Bakersfield, California. I'm a former buyer of human beings and now advocate of sex trafficking victims. I'm the founder of Magdalene Hope and been fighting sex trafficking for 14 years and founder of the 5th Safe House to open in California in 2013, Restoration Ranch Women's Shelter, in strong support of SB 14.
Line 39, please go ahead. Line 39, you are open. Are you muted, line 39? We'll move on to line 174. Please go ahead. Line 174. Please unmute. All right, line 124. Please go ahead.
Yes, Julia, inner city public school teacher. I support this.
Line 147, you are open. Line 147.
Hello.
You are open.
Hi, my name is Margie Garcia. I'm from El Dorado County. I'm a mental health worker, and I strongly support SB 14.
Please go ahead, line 130. Line 130, are you muted? Your line is open. We can hear you, line 130. Please go ahead. We'll try line 225. Please go ahead.
Hi there. Calling on behalf of Initiate Justice Action, respectfully in opposition.
We'll go ahead and give a final reminder, 1-0 if you are in support or opposition to Senate Bill 14. Line 226, please go ahead.
I'm Julie May. I'm in support of SB 14.
231, you are open.
Hi, my name is Shannon Heil, and I'm with Placer County Moms for Liberty, and I support this bill, SB 14. Thank you.
Line 189, please go ahead.
Yes, this is Penny Martinez. I'm with the Bakersfield Republican Women Federated. I'm the current Caring for America program chair, and we strongly support SB 14. Thank you.
138, please go ahead.
Yes, this is Laurel Botsford, founder and executive director of Wisdom International and member of the San Francisco Collaborative Against Human Trafficking and the Marin County Coalition Against Human Trafficking. We strongly support this bill.
242, your line is open.
This is Kathleen Barton, representing Concerned Women for America, and I strongly support SB 14.
Line 130, please go ahead. Line 130, you are open.
Penny Harrington from San Diego County, strongly support.
Line 230, please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Matthew Martin, representing Chairman of the Board of Supervisors in Kern County, Jeff Flores, and strong support of SB 14.
Line 247, please go ahead. Line 247, are you muted? One more shot, line 247. We'll go to line 250. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jamie Aria, and I'm calling for SB 596.
Line 147, please go ahead.
Hello.
You're open.
Hello. Hi, my name is Margie Garcia from El Dorado County. I strongly support SB 14.
Line 194, please go ahead.
Hello.
Go
Good
ahead.
morning. Good morning. My name is Jean Scantea, and I support SB 14.
Madam Chair, we did get through the queue.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, for your help. We want to thank all our witnesses, both in support and in opposition, that came in person and took the time to participate via our teleconference service. We will now bring the discussion back to the dais. Senator Skinner.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Senator, I appreciate your not only passion about this issue, but your dedication to it. And while, as a member of the committee, we were not supportive of the bill in the form that you presented previously, I'm very appreciative of your accepting the amendments, and I do appreciate that you would like it to go farther. But I think the points made by the witness in opposition, who is herself a survivor, that could, and I know it would never be intentional, but where an actual victim of trafficking could end up being prosecuted in a third strike type of circumstance around their own victimization. And, I think it doesn't, it's only been recently that we even began to treat underage girls who are involved in commercial sex trade as the victims versus the actual criminals. It's only been recently. And so the fact that we have accepted the fact that any person under 18 who is in commercial sex trade is absolutely been exploited, is absolutely the victim, and is the someone else is exploiting them. This is not a choice that they make. And so I appreciate your willingness to modify the bill, and again, I also appreciate you'd like it to go further, but I'm willing to support it with its amendments, and with that I would move the bill.
Thank you, Senator Skinner. Do we have any other comments or concerns from the dais? Seeing none, I just want to also thank Senator Grove for, make me close after you cry. Sorry. I'm just very grateful for the work that you've done. And but before we move on, I would like you to have the opportunity to address the concerns of the speaker in opposition who expressed some concerns. I think I remember you had some thoughts prior to, and would love to give you that opportunity at this time.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and in my close. 20 years ago, an injustice was perpetrated against April Grayson. 20 years ago, people were not treated as victims in the sex trade organization. They were treated as criminals. Even law enforcement and district attorneys have changed their attitude about the way people were treated. I know April Grayson is not in this committee hearing today, but I would ask you to tell her that last year I heard her. I heard her voice, the pain in her voice. I gave her my personal cell phone number. I removed violent from the bill that we had last year and made it only serious so that people like April Grayson would never be prosecuted again and vacature would be in place. So I listened to what April said. Again, giving her my personal cell phone number and wanting to work with her on a solution for the state of California, for the many people like Brianna and Des and Jen McKay and all the other victims that came here and survivors that came here to testify of the brutality that they were involved in, including April Grayson. So please deliver that message to her. She didn't give me her number or I would reach out to her, but let her know that I heard her and I took that violent section out so that vacature could apply. Again, 20 years ago when she was prosecuted, that was an injustice. But things have changed over the last 20 years, as my colleague from Berkeley has said. In closing, everybody who testified here today, I want you to know that we didn't get everything we wanted, but we are a Spartan group to a large opposition. and we will never give up the fight. You've all done amazing work to get us where we are today. Hundreds of human trafficking survivors, advocates, police, social workers from all across California are rooting for our team today. If this bill gets passed at this committee today, there will be a surge of hope for everyone who has gone through this horrific event, and thousands will be so grateful for the accomplishment if we get it out of this committee today. Hopefully, the work that we've done will shine a bright light of hope. And here in Sacramento, in this building today, for all the victims and human trafficking survivors that have been horrifically perpetrated by the crime of traffickers. And I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Grove. If I'm just a point of privilege, I just want to state that I was with Senator Grove last year after we heard this bill. And I have to say, she has been one of the most committed members that I've seen working in this space in trying to find both justice and grace when it comes to dealing with human trafficking. And if anyone could see her heart in the way that she was moved last year with the failure of this bill and how hard she's worked since then to make sure that she find that balance, I think it would bring reassurance to anyone who hesitates about this bill. With that, Senator Grove, I am grateful for the work that you're doing and have done and will continue to do. And on that, I would be happy to support the bill today. Madam Secretary, if you would, please call the roll.
SB 14, the motion is due pass as amended to appropriations. Senator Wahab. Ochoa Bogh.
Aye.
Ochoa Bogh, aye. Bradford. Skinner.
Aye.
Skinner, aye. Wiener.
Aye.
Wiener, aye.
We will put this bill on call for our absent members. Thank you very much, Senator Grove. I believe there is no clapping in the committee room. Sorry. We will now continue with Senator Umberg.